Today we're delving into the captivating story of the rebuilding of the Wall of Jerusalem. Get ready for an epic narrative full of challenges, unwavering faith, and triumph. Nehemiah, a Jewish man serving the Persian king, received distressing news one day that his people in Judah were suffering. Upon learning that the walls of Jerusalem lay in ruins, a shockwave coursed through his being. Tears flowed, and sorrow enveloped him for days. In his despair, he knelt in prayer, crying out to God for assistance on behalf of his people. Observing Nehemiah's sorrow, the king noticed his distress and inquired about the cause. With a sincere heart, Nehemiah shared the devastating situation in Jerusalem. Surprisingly, the king was moved with compassion and asked, "How can I help? Please allow me to go to Jerusalem and grant me permission to rebuild the walls," pleaded Nehemiah. "Go ahead. I will provide you with letters to ensure a safe journey," the king generously replied. Upon arriving in Jerusalem, Nehemiah chose not to immediately reveal the purpose of his visit. Instead, he dedicated 3 days to carefully assess the situation. Finally, he gathered the local leaders and shared how the king of Persia had granted permission for the reconstruction of the city walls. With determination, he declared, "We can no longer live with this disgrace. It's time to rebuild the walls." The leaders agreed and committed to the project. It was decided that each leader would choose a section of the wall as their personal responsibility. Immediately, they organized their families to begin the construction. Before we continue, I want to invite you to be part of our community. If you haven't subscribed yet, click the subscribe button to not miss any amazing content. Oh, and don't forget to leave a like and share your reflections in the comments. The non-Jewish population of the region was shocked to see what was happening. They laughed and made jokes. "These people are too weak to rebuild their city. Ha, I can see it now. They build a section of the wall and it collapses when a little fox jumps on it." Nevertheless, the builders were determined and worked more quickly. Soon the wall was halfway done, and they began connecting the various sections. This angered their enemies. They realized they needed to stop this construction. They threatened to approach stealthily and kill the workers. They said, "We'll do whatever it takes to halt this wall." The leaders and their families faced challenges and ridicule, but their determination persevered. As the community overcame opposition and progressed in the reconstruction, the threats and ridicule only intensified the builders' resilience. A profound fear enveloped the hearts of the builders, leading them to set up sentinels to watch day and night. Nehemiah, sensing the anxiety among his companions, raised his voice and declared, "Do not be afraid. God is stronger than your enemies. Be ready to fight. Fight for your brothers and sisters. Fight for your sons and daughters. Fight for your wives and homes." The workers implemented a warning system in case of an attack on any part of the wall. Men were ready to run to the threatened area and fight. Everyone joined in a collective effort, and soon the walls were completed, except for the gates. The enemy realized that their only hope to stop the project was to eliminate Nehemiah. For this, they needed to lure him out of the city. Thus, they sent a message asking him to meet them in a nearby village. The atmosphere was electrically charged with tension. Nehemiah's courageous leadership urged the workers to overcome fear and prepare for battle. Collaboration, a sense of unity, and readiness for the fight are the central elements driving the completion of the walls. Nehemiah, amid the intense labor of wall reconstruction, faced interruptions from those opposing the project. With a determined look, he declared, "I am doing a great work here. Why should we stop to talk?" However, the opponents insisted, pleading for him to meet with them. Finally, they sent a threatening message warning, "Word is going around that you are building the wall to rebel against the empire and proclaim yourself king. If you don't meet us, we will inform the Persian king about your alleged rebellion." Unyielding in his determination, Nehemiah ignored the threats and continued the work until the walls and gates were fully completed. Only 52 days were needed to achieve this extraordinary feat. Finally, the city was protected. Nehemiah's tenacity shines through. Facing unfounded accusations and threats, he remained focused on his mission, guided by the conviction that he was fulfilling a grand work under divine protection. A wave of jubilation swept through the people as they gathered to celebrate and sing praises to God. Ezra, with a scroll in hand, positioned himself before them and solemnly began reading the law of Moses, the words echoing through the corners of the city. The people, thirsty for divine guidance, listened attentively, absorbing each commandment with reverence. As the sacred words penetrated the hearts of those present, an atmosphere of commitment and dedication permeated the air. The people, with eyes bright with conviction, joined in solemn oaths to follow God's commandments. A sacred covenant was being renewed, and the city pulsed with a renewed sense of purpose and devotion. As the celebration echoed through the city, Jews from neighboring towns, moved by the inspiring testimony, decided that 1 in every 10 families would relocate to the city. It was a movement of unity and solidarity, a response to the divine call to be closer to one another, strengthening the bonds of the community. The narrative shines with the beauty of worship and commitment. God in His mercy worked wonders for Israel, and even the enemies watched, perplexed before divine power. The story becomes a source of inspiration for the youth, highlighting the importance of obedience and commitment to the Word of God, as well as the unity of the people in pursuit of a greater purpose.